Senate is taking up 3 new nominations to serve in President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet. Continuing coverage tonight from Lana Zach, who explains why one nominee laughed off suggestions that he's unqualified for the job.
Questions about Russia are now a kind of litmus test for cabinet nominees.
There's a decreasing number of areas where we can engage cooperatively and an increasing number of areas where we're going to have to confront Russia.
General James Mattis, President-elect Donald Trump's pick to head up the Department of Defense, established himself as his own man, unafraid to take different positions than the president-elect on Russia and Iran, saying he would support the arms agreement negotiated by the Obama administration.
It is an imperfect arms control agreement. It's not a friendship treaty, but when America gives her word, we have to live up to it and work with our allies.
In the third whirlwind day of Senate confirmation hearings, questions about cabinet members' willingness to be independent of President Trump and support for U.S. intelligence have been at the forefront of questioning, especially for Congressman Mike Pompeo, Mr. Trump's pick to head the CIA.
This was an aggressive action taken by the senior leadership inside of Russia, and America has an obligation, and the CIA has a part of that obligation to protect that information.
Meanwhile, Dr. Ben Carson laughed off suggestions that he lacks the experience to run the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
There's an assumption that you can only do one thing, and that we have these very limited brains, and they're incapable of learning anything else. I find that kind of humorous, particularly knowing what the human brain is capable of.
Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren wanted Dr. Carson to promise that none of the billions of dollars that HUD manages would benefit the Trump Organization. He wouldn't promise that, but he did say he'd be governed by common sense. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
A new report claims that a Donald Trump aide plagiarized part of her PhD dissertation. Monica Crowley is slated to serve in a top national security communications role for the president-elect. Politico is reporting it found more than a dozen examples of plagiarism in her dissertation while at Columbia University. And HarperCollins is no longer selling Crowley's book after 50 instances of plagiarism were found there.
Just days before leaving the White House, a very big honor today for Vice President Joe Biden. What was supposed to be just a farewell turned into an awards ceremony. President Barack Obama giving his second in command the Presidential Medal of Freedom, calling him a brother, a devoted friend, and a lion of public service.
This also gives the internet one last